The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour. Brought to you by Nadex. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Tom and Tommy O'Brien.
Morning, folks. Tommy O'Brien. I'm lucky to be joined today. My dad is on vacation. And Basil Chapman, good morning. Thanks for that awesome 10 a.m. update. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Happy to be joined by you as always.
Always a pleasure to be with you.
So let's check in on the market real quick. We have the markets off slightly. Dow down about 34, S&P off 7, NASDAQ off 56. You got gold off $7, trading at $12.42. You got some of the banks up this morning, of course, passing the stress test. And you have oil trading at about $45. We got some action in the markets. Let's jump over to our man, Mr. Kevin Hinks from TD Ameritrade. Thinkorswim, Options Hour, every day, 12 o'clock here, talking about the markets. Kevin Hinks, good morning.
Good morning, Tom. Good morning, Basil. How is everybody doing there?
We're doing
Very
great,
well,
man.
thank you.
How are you doing?
We're doing good. What an interesting market we're having here today. I mean, I actually was a couple things are catching my eye this morning. Number one, the GDP was a little better than expected.
It was.
That's a good thing.
1.4%, right, versus
Right,
1.2.
up 1.4, right. So a little beat on the GDP number, which really, I think, in my opinion, is the last real number of this week. I think a lot of people are going to start turning their computers off and taking the rest of the week off.
Tom's already on vacation, man. You're speaking the truth, right? Exactly. That's real
volume.
life.
Yeah, because you know what? We're traders.
It's real life. This, exactly. And Monday,
Exactly.
Monday, it's a 3-hour, 4-hour session of just to be open for the rules, really, versus
Right.
people actually being around.
Gentlemen, don't forget that the price doesn't know that everybody's on vacation.
Basil trying to be the voice of reason, saying still pay attention. We'll see what
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that, but what I tell everyone, Basil, is to lower their expectations when it comes to follow through. These markets are going to be a little thin, so they could overreact to some things, but you may not get follow through, right?
Absolutely.
Because there's just get used to the fact that there's less eyes on the market. And whatever that means there could be less resistance to a move, or a move could run out of gas. People put a little bet on and say, okay, that's enough for today. Things like that. So everyone should just get used to just less eyes on the market, so it'll be lower volume. But you're not wrong in the fact, Basil, we're getting a little movement. We have some movers out there.
It's interesting. We have a lot of news today, too, really, in terms of you have the jobs number as well coming in pretty close. You have the GDP number. You have the Rite Aid deal falling through with Walgreens, right? And then you have the banks.
The banks, right?
The banks getting a surge, and then oil up marginally, and gold off $7 again, trading at $12.42.
Right, so we are moving. You're right. There are price changes, and you've got Nike's earnings later on today.
Okay,
that will give us something to talk about. So I'll be interested to see what Nike says, or if they say anything at all about their relationship with Amazon.
Oh man,
and how that's evolving. Right?
Yeah, I came in and I was talking to Tom, my dad, the day that happened. You hear Amazon's going to sell Nikes, and that was after only a few days after they had just inked the deal to buy Whole Foods. And it's like, man, what a tear! Yeah.
Right. It's funny. Amazon has taken over all of our thoughts so much over the last few months that yesterday, when FedEx stopped trading, right? We didn't know why FedEx had stopped trading, but everyone assumed, oh my gosh, Amazon's buying FedEx. Was our first knee-jerk reaction.
It's the first natural knee-jerk reaction, and it almost should be at this point. But
it didn't come true, and it wasn't even close to coming true, and we didn't know anything, but it was amazing. That was our first reaction. Uh-oh, what's Amazon doing?
No, they are almost a distribution company. That's what's made them so great, the ability to get from warehouse to your door at the cheapest cost, and you pay for Prime, and they really revolutionized that for sure.
And very soon they'll be sitting at your door.
I agree. They are, rocking and rolling, and we're lucky. We have a big hub in Tampa, so we get a lot of the services really quick, really ahead of time. They have a bunch of hubs, but it's nice being right next to them because because, Whole Foods is coming. I'm going to have Whole Foods steaks delivered to my door in a matter of months, right? For
Tommy, the Sonoma chicken salad. That's all I got to say.
I'm going to write it down.
Go with the Sonoma chicken salad. It's addicting.
I want it delivered in 4 hours to my door, Kevin, okay? Well, perfect.
That's right.
Kevin,
So it's Thursday.
Rugby?
Thursday's Futures Day. Wait, sorry, what'd you say, Basil?
I want to know if Kevin's still playing rugby.
I stopped playing when I was 50, Basil. I played at the Aspen Rugger Fest when I was 50 years old, and then I still go to games and I still do things, but I don't. That's the last time I played purely competitive. Was 50.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think the last time I played purely competitive football when I was 18 years old in high school, and that was that.
And by the way, Basil, I hit 2 drop kicks in my final game.
There you go.
Well, what more do you want? Yeah. I try to explain to people there's just something emotional about a drop kick.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's just, I tried in tennis. It's got the same impact, but it doesn't have the same emotional feeling. I mean, that drop kick, when you get it right,
Oh, yeah.
You rugby players, watch out, man. Watch out. I went to a few rugby parties and rugby games with some friends in college, and it was always a good rowdy time for sure.
I was a sprinter. So the only time I was invited to play, I played wing and right wing because I could run away from everything.
That is where we put the fast guys.
So, Futures Hour, today, 12 o'clock. Options Hour, Kevin Hinks. Kevin, thanks so much, man. We look forward to the show this afternoon.
Have a great day, guys. Always a pleasure.
You too. And have a great weekend, Kevin.
Bye-bye.
Take care, man. Okay, folks, come on back. We'll check out this market. We'll see what's going on. Tommy O'Brien, Basil Chapman, come on back.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. We take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back, folks. Tommy O'Brien, Basil Chapman. We got the markets off slightly. Dow Jones off about 29, S&P off 10, Nasdaq off 67. So, Basil, just in the general sense, kind of that we were talking about with Kevin with the weekend, of course, Tom's already on vacation. That's real life indication. We always talk about, Amazon. We love it so much, and real life sometimes applies to how things work out, and you should pay attention, and vacation is coming. But as is always, you have to be prepared for everything, right? And we could see some action because we have 2 full trading days ahead with a half a day coming on Monday, which is a lot
Correct.
of time.
Yes. In fact, in this market, actually, you brought up a very good point. So if I can just show something that I think is quite fascinating here. The move that we had from the top of 21,535 in the Dow on the 20th of June.
Okay.
Culminated a move for me in my work. I'm showing the 120-minute chart here. They're both 120-minute charts,
Okay.
but they have different technical indicators on them. This one here is what I call pretty much a clear chart. It has a 9-period moving average and a couple of other things. It doesn't have the MACD and the slow stochastic that the right chart does.
Sure.
But the price obviously is the same. But what really happened was that the very sharp decline, they went to 21,333 around about the 23rd of June, saw that sudden spike to the upside and failure, and that spike to 21,506 was very quick, and then it failed, and it plunged down to 21,310, which was below the 21,333 level. And then yesterday's move up went right to what I had shown subscribers. In fact, this is a little for today. I did a little bit more. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Cancel. Can't hit the wrong button when you're on the computer.
That's right. Details. Watch out.
What I did was I was explaining over the past few days using this technique I've developed over the last 2 years called the Chapman Wave 5, which the only similarity, the instigator was the Elliott wave, and then I just disregarded everything except for the 5 waves themselves. That's the only coincidence that is there. But what happened was that in this wave 4 down, what happened yesterday, and this is what I was explaining to subscribers this morning, why I expected that there would be quite a sharp pullback sometime this morning. I wasn't sure whether the close would just be a doji candle or a down candle, depended on what happened at 11 o'clock today. But what was really interesting is the spike up from that 23rd of June was about 170-something, 173 points.
Yeah, there's some good volatility in that chart, that little channel right there, right?
Look what's interesting. So it's 174 points. There it is. And the move yesterday was 167.
Okay.
So what you had was, and I've been doing work on this for not years, but decades. And the interesting thing is, when you're looking at rising channels or declining channels, the real question is, how on earth does the price know to stop at that resistance level on the way up and the support level on the way down? I mean, you know that fund managers are in their minds, they've got a fixed price. Let's say $1,000 on price line, whatever it is.
Sure.
And that stays in their mind. But that's not a horizontal. That's not saying 1,000, 1,020, 1,060 in their mind. They've got. It doesn't work that way. You remember a particular number. So the question is, how on earth does the market know about a trend line? And my analysis is that the emotional conditions that started the move matched the previous move. Therefore, from the baseline, you get a proportionate rally. That's the only way I can explain it. A decline in a rally when it stays in a channel. And what's interesting about this, look, this is what I sent this morning, saying we should get a pullback, and I'm expecting that this, and now what I did is I've notated it, let me move this away, as an X which suggests quite strongly that in the 120-minute chart, we're starting a new wave 1 down, and it should go 1, 2, 3, 4, and we should take out 21,310, which corresponds to the Dow daily chart. And this is fascinating. The daily chart had this very quick 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we should be heading down. There's a coincidence there as well in the daily chart. Now, I could be wrong, but all I'm saying is that if the Dow goes underneath 21,390 support, there's a real good chance it's going to hit the 21,315, this red line, thick red line, to 20-period exponential moving average. So I like to tie things together, and the MACD has been very weak, and I see there's a good chance it'll deflect lower. And that's interesting because yesterday the market didn't just bounce. I said there'd be a bounce because we had a conclusion of a Chapter Wave 5 in the 120-minute to the downside. I expected 60 points maybe, but it went to 100, and then it went to 160.
Yeah.
That was a big squeeze, and it was a lot more than I thought, and I always have to respect that. But you can see the MACD didn't even notice it yesterday in the daily chart of the E-mini, and look, the E-mini is still coming to the downside. So I'm looking at this, and I think that we are short the Dow, we're short the semiconductors, we've got some short positions, but at the same time, I think I'm first calling it a consolidation rather than because the weekly chart hasn't given me a signal yet, not even a sell signal, which is the start of the down move. So I have to be patient and wait.
Yeah,
and
you got to pay attention to both those channels, right? And the channels, I think, have a lot of merit, and I like looking at those, because the market's going to oscillate around a certain level. So maybe that's just indicating price action to the upside, and it's not going to be a perfect line as to where supply equals demand, right? But the general trend with upper boundary lines and lower boundary lines, and Bud Rolf's that channel master, that stuff, it matters in my opinion. And you can see, just like you're drawing them right now on a weekly, man, that's a solid channel to the upside. Just the daily ones earlier, that's to a T. We're right at the top of that kind of downward channel on the shorter time frame.
And then in the weekly, I'm drawing, this is what I've done for years. I've drawn something I call the Chapter Wave Inside Track. Look how it's been the support level. This is where prices should hold. And if the E-mini goes under 24, let's be safe, let's call it 2407 at any point in the next 2 weeks, you've suddenly got yourself a sell signal in the weekly, finally. And the MACD is turning down. The stochastic still strong at 89%. So we're going to be watching. Here's the 120-minute chart.
Yeah, because I was just, right. To tie it all together, though, right? You look at that 120-minute chart on the right, and man, what a perfect downtrend. That it's peaked above it, but it's charging hard back into that downtrend, and we'll see if it can kind of stay there on the shorter.
The other thing is, I have an expression that says rectangle trading range can last a lot longer than your patience. Look at this going on. This is a 120-minute chart from the high of noon on the 9th of June. Actually, you can go back much further, but it
goes back to like the 8th at least. Or
it's
you're looking
barely
at
broken to the upside and barely broken to the downside.
3 full weeks, right?
Range.
Yeah.
Correct. You looking?
I was just going to say 3 quick weeks, man. We're already July 4th coming at us real quick.
I was going to ask you what you're looking at, and we'll look at that in the next
segment. We will. We'll be coming right up. Stay tuned, folks. Tommy O'Brien, Basil Chapman. We'll be right back.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, joined by Basil Chapman. Markets off slightly. Dow Jones off 35, S&P off 9, NASDAQ down 61%, the NASDAQ. And jumping around, let's take a quick peek. The XLF, so the financials getting quite a boost this morning, of course, Basil. XLF up 35 cents, 1.4%, trading at 24.87. Digging into that a little bit, we'll see Bank of America up 2.7%. Citigroup up 3%. Let's see, JP Morgan. Yeah, JP Morgan up about 2%. And jumping over to gold is another one. And maybe if we can jump over to gold, Basil, because I was taking a look, and of course, you know, we're as low as $12.40 this morning. We're back up, only down $6. 12.42.80. 12. Are we up to 12.45.60? Is that right? Yeah, it is.
12. Wait.
Yeah, so we're up
to 12.53.2. What do you have?
Yeah, I'm getting, for some reason.
12.53.
Maybe I'm no, my chart's showing higher, but 12.43, right? 12.43.
Huh, that's interesting. Oh, I've got the continuous contract. Okay.
What are you looking at? 12.46? No, that may be correct. Yeah. Either way, let me pull up the chart again because it's interesting. Only June 6th or 8th, we were off, we were at $1,300, which is pretty remarkable.
Right now we're at 12.46. I'm sorry, I thought you meant the high. Yeah, right now we're at 12.46.
Yeah, 12.45.70. Yeah. And we'll see how this 12.40, because this is something that, you know, as we come in, You're correct, I believe, more so even in this market where you could see some volatility coming into Friday with then having only a half a day Monday and gold having the potential for, you know, if we get this type of action, we're challenging these 1240 levels, and that's something that I'd be watching. Maybe with the ability to even trade, you know, we'll jump over to Nadex later in the show, but the 1240 would be a possible support area, and we saw, just digging in, a bounce right off that level at exactly about 9 o'clock this morning.
So let me take this E-mini 10-minute chart right now. Let me change it to the continuous contract of gold. Oh, yeah, look at that. That's a very nice move. Okay, so the way I would normally look at this, you see the high that was made right at 5:50 this morning at 1247.8?
Yes.
and the high we've just made in the last 10 minutes is 1247.4.
Okay.
My thinking right here is that if we can get even, if we can just touch that level of 1247.8, maybe 1248, this green line, the 200-period exponential moving average, the closer you get to it, the greater the chances that it acts as a magnet. That's the way I like to look at these.
Okay.
So it's very interesting. It's as if you're looking at a gap, and you don't even have to worry about a gap until you start getting closer to it. And then the gap acts just like any other point of focus on a chart. It could be a moving average, it could be anything. It's just, or a tiny doji candle. It just is a point of reference, and we've got 2 points of reference. We've got the 1248.8 level of the 200-period moving average, and we've got this little doji candle right here in the 10-minute chart back at 3:40 yesterday afternoon. That's the 29th. No, this morning, at 3:40 this morning. So what I'm saying to you is, at this point, it's still a repellent line, but the moment you take it out, you take out the high of this bar, that's a 1247.4 level, then all of a sudden you've got a magnet that's going to be attracted towards the 1248s.
Okay.
So it's going to be very interesting. Now, what's really fascinating about this is that under the pressure that the dollar's been in, I'm not sure I've heard a reason why gold has not responded positively.
I agree. Tom and I were talking about it, my dad, yesterday, in terms of definitely not the same reaction. And the GDX in a similar, because of gold not getting the action. And the GDX, I think, let's jump back. The GDX is getting hit a little hard today.
For me, the GDX was the clue. I think it was Friday. Let me just check the charts. Yeah, on Friday. Today is, what is today? Thursday. Oh no, well, yeah, it's last week, when gold should have held very well. When the GDX on the 14th, I think that was Friday, when it was up at 2342, it looked very good, and then it closes. It just takes out every bit of support and plunges, in fact, with the MACD and stochastic. Well, the clue was the stochastic didn't rally, but the price is I call the price the arbiter of the trend, and the price just plummeted. And that said to me, something's wrong. Why? Because we've seen that gold stocks for a period of about 6 months or 7 months responded really well, and then gold followed. And over the last 6 months, it's kind of been the other way around. The gold stocks have not done as well, even when gold rallied.
Sure, when gold had that run up to 1,300, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this, and that was the clue to me, because I was thinking, okay, for subscribers, should we have a trade in gold? And then I said, you know what? I just don't think it's worth it right now, because if gold is, it's taken its cue, because the Fed said we want inflation. Well, you'd think gold would respond, didn't. The dollar comes tumbling down. You would think, I always say that if you look at history, you'll find that over a period of 6 to 8 weeks, maybe twice over a period of a year, gold and the dollar will trade in the same direction, not the same percentage, but the same direction. But most of the time, they trade in counterpoint.
Definitely.
And all of a sudden, they're trading in unison together. Something's wrong with this picture.
It's going to work itself out somehow. It is.
Well,
so I'm just going to pull up the Nadex platform, Basil, because I was looking at some of the contracts. So we have gold, and this is where there's really not much premium. And I don't have any trades that I'm going to be making in this, but just to point out some of the opportunities, because there's really very minimal premium to get a risk reward in your favor with defined risk on either side of this market. So the first thing I was jumping around, and let's see what I pulled up. I pulled up the daily spreads, the 130s, and I said, I'm just looking at the types of risk rewards and what kind of premium. So let's just say you were short the market.
So which market would you be looking at?
We're looking at the gold contract, the August contract,
yeah,
okay?
okay.
So, and you should be able to see I have it in the den and hopefully here. So here's the 1250 to 1200 spread we're looking at right here. And right now we have the contract, the August contract, trading at 1244.86, okay? And if you wanted to go short this, you're only paying, this bid offer is completely straddling the market right now, and you're risking, call it $53 per contract for a potential profit of $446. They're $500 spreads, right? Each point is $10. They're $50 goal points, and the odds that you ever get a run down to $1,200 or even $1,240 could be minimal. But if you're going to go short this market with the ability to sell it at $1244.60 when the market's trading at $1244.80, right? With that type of a risk reward, I just think that, people should really take a look at that if you're trading gold. Now, looking at, let's say you wanted to go to the positive side, trying to find a similar one. Here's $1240 to $1255. Completely different trade, just how the spread sets up. Here's a noon gold trade. Okay, market's at $1244.60. You'd be buying this at $1244.90. You're risking $49 to make $100. Now that's an hour and a half long trade. It's only a $15 spread, but you can see you're risking 1 to make 2 if you ever get 10 points in your direction in gold, which by 12 o'clock in an hour and a half is completely possible, I think. Not a lot of premium in those markets if you're trading gold, futures, and that applies to a bunch of things. We'll look at the VIX. VIX is at like $10, right, Basil?
Yes.
All right. Come on back, folks. Basil Chapman, Tommy O'Brien. We'll be right back.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Tommy O'Brien, Basil Chapman. So jumping around real quick, Basil, because the Rite Aid trade was interesting, not the trade, the news this morning, that deal had fallen through. And check out this action on Rite Aid. So you had overnight, we're looking at about $4. 6 o'clock in the morning, we go from $4 to $4.40. 7 o'clock in the morning, we have a bar as high as $4.85, and then the crash all the way down to about $3. $4.85 till $3, Basil, in 1 hourly chart. And of course, on the other side of that, right, we have what is Boots?
WAG. I don't know if it's still what, WAGB maybe.
We'll just
no.
enter WBA.
WBA.
So quite a ride there as well. Not quite the cascade in the fall, but trading at $77.
Wow.
Overnight pops up to above 82, back down to 79 right now. And it looks like, they canceled the big deal, and instead their Walgreens, Rite Aid, it's going to be a smaller deal for $5 billion. Not all the stores. They were facing some antitrust problems that made that fall through. So
I was fascinated because we, for my opening call subscribers, maybe 2 years ago or something, actually over a period of 3 years, we kept buying Rite Aid. We bought it way back when it was in the $1, I think $1.50 something. Yeah, way back then, 2013. And we rode it all the way, kept buying it, and so we had a really good price. And then I got out because there was a takeover rumor, and I just said, we're done. And I've just watched it periodically as it comes into the news. And what's fascinating is I didn't know too much about Rite Aid, but I was in New York during that period, and then I saw Rite Aid is just everywhere. It's like CVS here in the Boston area. So, and I saw the stores, and what was very interesting is that they started to improve them over the. I heard that they were spending a lot of money on infrastructure, trying to reinvent themselves, basically, which is kind of what they did, and that's why they had that very big run up. And then something happened, whatever it is. It was a takeover candidate, then it wasn't, and then all of a sudden, just like today, fell apart once more. So
it's pretty remarkable. Just this year, we were almost at $9.
Yeah, can you believe? I was about to say, can you believe cut in 60% more? I mean,
I kept going back. At first, I was going to say it's remarkable. Just in March, it's been cut in half by 50% just since March. But then it's been cut by 2/3 just since January.
Right.
And you saw these companies decline when Amazon made their deal for Whole Foods, because they're saying now they have, an actual brick and mortar retail presence that maybe they'll go into pharmacy and use that presence to open up pharmacies, which is completely feasible. And, you can see that pharmacies are something that are indistinguishable, I think. If you ever fill up a prescription, they ask you, your doctor, where do you want it filled, right? Do you want it at CVS? Do you want it at Walgreens? You're kind of indifferent. You're pretty sure that you're going to get the same exact thing. It's probably going to be a similar cost. I don't think you price comparison shop. So there's room there. My point is just that if that competition can be beat and those can just be delivered to your door at an affordable price, I think that's something consumers, there's no allegiance to fill your prescriptions at Walgreens or CVS.
I think they're going to find an allegiance when you start to see so the pharmacies become more of your medical practice. When you start to see they bring in either doctors or
sure, they're all setting up. That's big in Florida right now.
That's going to be really big.
It's big in Florida already with a lot of those types of clinics, and Walgreens having a clinic, or that type. And of course, was it Rite Aid, I think, or that they no longer sell cigarettes, making that shift to a health conscious company versus just picking up items and so-called. Yeah.
I have to chuckle. When you speak to the layperson and you ask them about the cigarette companies, and you say, what's done better, cigarette companies or name something else that's in the health area, it turns out that the cigarette companies have done really well, even in this environment. And when I ask people, what do you think? Is Whole Foods doing much better than, say, a McDonald's? Well, Whole Foods just got their takeover offer.
They did, and he got a bargain if you compare it to what it was trading at, right?
It was trading in the 34s. It had hit 65.59 back in October of 2013.
Exactly.
And then all the pressure from all the other markets came along. And now, and look at McDonald's. From the news, you would just never put the two together. Now, McDonald's 4 days ago was at an all-time high, 153s, and it was trading down in the 90s. So it's fascinating. A market can, in fact, you have to look at price, and you have to determine from the price what the whole perspective is, as well as the fundamentals. But you can't just go by news and what you hear. Because if you were just listening, you say McDonald's. Oh, who goes to McDonald's? You want to know who goes to McDonald's? Doesn't matter. It's at an all-time high.
And there's plenty of people going, even if you don't know them. That's the truth. I mean, I came in here and was talking to Tom, and I was telling him my first experience with it. I just took an Uber driver on Sunday morning to go to lunch or something like that over in St. Petersburg, chatting with the woman driving, and she was saying most of her Sunday morning drives were Uber Eats, and it was all McDonald's. And so you can see how technology shifts, yes, and the fast food element of deliveries for Uber Eats, especially with McDonald's, I believe, they obviously have, a premium brand, the ability for people to have McDonald's delivery over the weekends, especially probably around Tampa, where you have city, you have a younger crowd, maybe you have, you're waking up on Sunday morning. And but all of that combining, offering breakfast all day. So they have made some of those changes, and it does sometimes relate where you see those things in your life. And yeah, they need to be confirmed with the consensus. But guess what? That trend is not. I wasn't the only one jumping in an Uber car that was talking about that the Uber drivers driving a lot of McDonald's.
And it's just so interesting that it would be Uber going to McDonald's.
Right. And that it kind of speaks to the same way, Amazon has built out such an amazing where they had all the web servers, so they're going to sell that. They're a distribution company for sure. They're going to capitalize on that, right? In terms of, even they may start, there's in other countries, they're going to be charging for shipping for other companies using those shipping lines that they've, the distribution lines they've built out just in the same way where it's like Uber's like, why aren't we capitalizing? These companies would love for their food to get delivered for a cost. We'll provide that service. We have the drivers. We have the technology. And, that is the future. I use Starbucks now, and you can order on your phone. I don't know if you use Starbucks. They have a great app. They were one of the ones at the forefront with the ability to deposit money, right? You use it in the store. You get rewards on it. Very user-friendly. Talking about going on years and years. They've been good at that game. And I order my product online now, as a lot of people do, and it's sitting there waiting for me, and I never have to even say hello to a cashier, and I still do, but it's an interesting experience to see how quickly that can shift, where I press a button on my phone, walk to Starbucks, my drink is sitting there waiting, I walk in the door, pick it up, walk out, I'm charged, I never even interact with anybody. Man, that is coming quickly, I think, before we realize it.
So that puts you into another category, because you are on Route 84, when you're coming from New York and you come down 84,
I know Route 84, yes.
And you're going to come onto 90.
Yes, the Pike.
Yeah, but actually, I wanted to do it before in Hartford. I wanted to talk about Gypsy. That's what you do at Starbucks. You get your order and everybody's waiting in line, but you just get your order because you did it online, right?
Exactly. And you know what? You're the outsider now, but man, the outsider is going to be the person paying cash pretty soon at the register. We'll be right back, folks. Come on back.
Trading is different than investing, but the opportunity to take advantage of short-term trends is only one if you get the direction right. Direction leveraged and inverse ETFs offer bold trades on U.S. and international stocks and bonds. Direction leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has put together the finest live programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 9 hours a day starting at 8 a.m. as John Logan kicks us off each trading day with the Global Market Pulse. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Mondays and Fridays, catch live trading on the Nadex platform with host Tom and Tommy O'Brien, along with Daryl Martin on the Bull Bear Binary Option Hour. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN, educating investors. Catch Basil Chapman as he uses his Chapman Wave methodology to call the markets. The Tiger Technicians Hour, next on TFNN.
Welcome back, folks. Basil Chapman, Tommy O'Brien. Dow off slightly. Not much action this entire hour, Basil. Dow off 27, S&P off 10. I could have said the same numbers almost all hour, and I would have been pretty much close to accurate. I was jumping around during the break. I just wanted to take a look. We're talking about Amazon so much. Pulling up the Amazon long-term chart. Pretty remarkable where they've come. And it looks like they were trading almost at 100 if you look at this on a grand scheme. But they were as low as $34 at the beginning of 2009. And I think I was a Prime member back then, Basil. I was an early adopter. I was a Prime member just for the shipping before they ever had the Prime movies, the Prime music, just the shipping alone with the ability to order enough items I knew was a convenience factor at that time that nobody had offered the ability to pay a one-time fee of like $50 or $75 and not have to worry about shipping for the entirety of the year, which was pretty cool in 2009, 2010, because that's when actually consumers were facing a decent tax, call it, we're having to pay for that shipping, having to not know how the return process would go if there was a problem, and that, inhibited a lot of obviously, and Amazon capitalized it, and it's funny how, everything they talk about, how much their average Prime user spends, right? Well, at the time, I knew that I would spend enough just on household average items, whether, instead of going to the store to buy a hammer or something, right? Indistinguishable items that, not food, not clothing, that I would spend enough of it, and it pushes you, just like Costco purchases the same way, right? You need to get in there because you need to make use of that $50, $75 annual fee, so it inspires you to spend.
Spend enough at Costco to make it worth it, although I have the card. And I just got Amazon Prime the other day. I'm really not a big buyer of stuff. I don't know what it is, but I just don't. But the fact is, if you do, that shipping alone saves you a bundle.
It is, and it's 2-day, which is also pretty cool, as in, with normal retailers, if you want to get it free, maybe you're waiting for ground shipping at this point, dealing with...
So I just wanted to say, before I forget, it's interesting that the stocks that we've been looking at, for instance, Amazon, I've got at least a short-term digestive phase unfolding in the daily. But the weekly chart is starting to weaken, and I'm looking at Amazon, I'm saying at 979. If this thing takes out 940 in the next 2 weeks, 940 support, I think it's going to have a pretty big digestive phase in time, maybe not so much in price. And we're looking at Starbucks. I already had, for a long time, I've had...
Amazon's trading at some very high multiples right now, too. So, everything needs to go right. And, they might. Kevin Hinks has talked about this with us. They could face some antitrust issues pretty soon. I mean, if they start controlling everything, driving consumers to their own products continually versus Whole Foods, all of that stuff, that may come into the play.
And even if it's just a threat, that's the whole thing. Right.
Just, to trade on those types of multiples, everything needs to go correct.
Perfectly.
And antitrust issues is not what's having trading, multiples of triple digits.
Correct. And Starbucks, I'm looking at this double top that's just formed, and I'm saying, hey, this looks like it's going to have a tough summer.
Quite a day for Starbucks. Look at that, down 1%, down 60 cents, quite a bar.
Yeah, right on the 200-period moving average in the daily, and the same thing with DPZ, which has been on the table, which is Domino's Pizza. I always look at Domino's Pizza and I say, hey, is this taking over Joseph A. Bank, which was the clothing company that just nobody knew about? Hardly anybody ever looked at the stock or talked about it, yet it was one of the best performers until it got taken over by Menswear, I think it was, something like that. So DPZ has got that same chart. It's looking a little toppy here. What's your topping in DBZ? That's what I should say.
Domino's Pizza.
Right.
That's right. Basil, thank you so much. We'll stay tuned for your hour coming up next. Folks, stay tuned. We got a great day of programming. And I believe John Logan's filling in today. We have somebody filling in. I believe it may be John Logan. Excuse me if I'm correct. But Basil, thanks. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Thomas.
Okay. Thanks, folks. Stay tuned for Basil. Coming up right now.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This is TFNN.